Hey, welcome back to your lessons, your 46 lessons from my life. And I'm going to give y'all a real punch in the gut. And I think it's appropriate as we approach the new year in exactly 2 weeks from today, okay? And the reality check is you're going to die. Guess what? Most of you, particularly Americans that are watching this video, most of us are going to die by the fork. Most of us are on a fast track to dying based off of our eating habits. Okay? Follow me. Okay? I'm preaching to you like I'm preaching to myself. Okay? My thing is, I wish that I understood just how hard it is to reverse and break eating habits that I've had my entire life. Now, looking at me, you might think I'm decent. I'm not as wide as this couch. And I thank God, perhaps it's genetic, that my fat deposits, they place well. I got more boob than I got fupa. Okay? All right. So, and in my culture, you see, I'm a sister. In my culture, we praise the thickness, do we not? Oh, yes, we do. But I think it's to my detriment, okay? Here's what I mean. I know people don't like, in this culture, there's this thing called fat shaming. I know we don't like to check for BMI and all of that. The reality is that when there is a standard, it lets you know how much increased risk that you have for disease, right? So although you might be aesthetically pleasing on the outside, inside your heart might be doing too much work to keep you alive, and you might not even have any symptoms. So I was having a conversation with my sister earlier today. Y'all know I'm 46, she's 43, okay? And I was sharing with her about the reality that our mother, she had her first stroke at 53. Matter of fact, that year, she had 3 strokes. My mother's brain was bleeding the year she turned 53. 53. You know what that says to me? I'm 46. And I'm so close to her age. And so my mother was a petite little thing. I'm short, and we were both short and stacked and cute. Okay. And even though my mother's, I think her contributing factors were vastly different. She was a stone cold alcoholic. I am not. I barely sip every now and then. I don't drink alcohol because of her. Her consumption of certain foods. My mother ate everything. And I was raised eating everything, but I've been actually 100% vegan for the last 12 years. So my eating habits are different. Yes, they are. Okay. So although I think her contributing factors and her hard life that she lived pushed her faster to that place, I do my own assessment, and I look at myself and I say, well, what are my contributing factors? What are the things, if I'm honest, that put me at risk to be in the same position in a few years, if not now? The reality is, even all of this is too much weight. Right now, I'm hovering around 142 pounds. I don't like being in the 140s. Those 140s are a signal to me that I've been doing too doggone much. People like to say in moderation, but you know what? There's no such thing as moderation. These foods have chemicals and all kinds of additives that have us addicted. And I am one of the people that are addicted. Even as a plant-based vegan, most of us don't know when to shut it off. And because we live in a society where we have made being a foodie cute and acceptable, it's acceptable to be a full-out glutton. And as a believer, gluttony is a sin. Overindulging and overeating is a sin. But also, I thank God because the word, it's setting me up to have better health outcomes if I don't overeat. Most of us don't even know when we are actually hungry, because we constantly eat, and we bought into the propaganda that we should be eating every 2 hours, or have 3 full stacked on meals a day, and we can snack. What that does is, though, it produces something called insulin resistance. Now, disclaimer, I'm no doctor, I'm no physician, I'm no nutritionist by trade, none of that, but there is science backed up. Go look into it. Your body, every time you eat something, insulin is pumped out, all right, in the process of that. And so that insulin always getting spiked all the time, every day, and we eat at any time of day. That means your body, that's how people get pre-diabetic, diabetic, and everything. And there's a link between diabetes and heart attack. You see a pattern going on here? Do you see a pattern? So it is what I said, death by a fork. It is the foods that we're eating. Most of us are not eating high quality meat. If you eat meat, it's not normally crap, okay? But you're eating that. You got your cholesterol baked in there at an increased level. And most people, most Americans don't eat enough vegetables prepared well either. A variety of fruits and vegetables. So we're not eating quality foods, enough of the quality foods, balanced, okay? Then we're eating too frequently, okay? And it's setting off a whole nother chain of reactions. So as I was sharing with my sister, I shared with her, I said, what are my factors? My factors are, what's to my detriment is, since I work from home, what I've noticed with me, with my high stress job, even though I'm working remote, I love to cook. And because I have a side business that involves food, I find joy, absolute joy, in preparing food all the time, and it has developed a habit. And I believe that when I'm stressed, I cook, and when I cook, I eat, and I eat and I eat. Even as a vegan, that's not healthy. I should not be eating as often as I do. I have to, and you should know when to turn it off. And so here's the thing, because for most of my life, I was a slim. And when I put on weight in my 20s and stuff, I began running. I used to run races and everything. So I've always been naturally on the small side. And even when I gained a little bit too much, I remember back in those days that I had an exercising lifestyle. Most of us don't have an exercising lifestyle. I talk to people all the time, and they'll say that they have physical jobs, and so they believe that that's enough. And I don't know if that's enough. The people that I know that say that, they have all kinds of health problems. You need to be exercising intentionally. And I'm talking about walking. Are you getting out of doors? Here in Atlanta, we've had back-to-back 70-degree days out of the blue. I was telling my sister, I said, I remember when I lived in California, and on my day job, I had 2 15-minute breaks and an hour break, and I walked on every last one of them. At bare minimum, I was getting 3 miles a day at work when I had to report to an office. When I work from home, when I tell you, it is so much different to try to get that in. And then when it got cold, I stopped going outside. So now I have to force myself to exercise indoors, and it is a pain. But the reality is, be that as it may, am I going to have excuses, or am I going to do what I need to do to live? My 56-year-old self is depending on my 46-year-old self. And I really wish I understood in my younger days 2 things. One, that being physically fit is not just about the confidence that comes from looking good on the outside. Okay, yes. It's attractive to be snatched. It is. But more than that, having a smaller percentage of body fat and body weight decreases the stress that your organs have to keep you alive. Carrying that excess weight into our 40s and our 50s will kill us. It will, and if you don't die fast, you're going to have an uncomfortable life. You're going to end up on somebody's medication. Let me throw up my hand here. You want to know something else about developing bad habits? I have high blood pressure. How, Sway? I believe that is the direct result of how I was raised. I remember my grandmother, and she can cook her face off. My grandmother, she well seasoned food. Most of us come from that, and so when I got introduced to other cultures when I lived overseas, their food was absolutely bland to me, and I struggle with that now. Like when I got the reality check that my blood pressure was that daggone high, I'm struggling right now to eliminate all that sodium from my diet, because the older you get, the harder it is to break habits. And if there is anybody that is young, break it now. Break it now. You don't want to be you know how many people my age and older who have just given in to they say, you know what, we all gotta die. We're gonna die from something. So they are saying that they are okay with high blood pressure. They are okay with diabetes. And when I'm saying that is no way to live. If I don't die prematurely, what I don't want is being old and raggedy. I don't want to be living through conditions, things that hinder my lifestyle. Got to wake up and take 50-11 pills in the morning just to function. Who wants that? I want a great quality of life. I'm not sure if y'all been listening to, y'all watched that Netflix series called Later Daters. One of the women on there is a woman named Anise. Anise is 62. Look at Anise. She sure enough don't look like she on nobody's medication. You see her working out snatched? You think Anise is up popping 50-11 pills? I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm trying to be Anise body that's 62. You feel me? I'm trying to not be having pinchable fat. I don't want that. I know I'm better than that. I'm telling you now, I wish. You want to hear about somebody older that got the shoulda, coulda, wouldas? The shoulda, coulda, wouldas as I wish I would have known. I wish I could have already had a lifestyle that was used to low sodium, that didn't fluctuate in and out of life's periods of exercise. It gets harder as you go along. But now that we're here, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Again, Lord willing, if I make it to 56, I want to be stroke free. Have y'all noticed? Let's look at it from a celebrity standpoint. Have y'all watched the comedy special from Jamie Foxx, the one that just came out, See What Had Happened Was, or whatever it's called? And he shares his near-death experience when he had a stroke. Jamie in his 50s. Have you not noticed that by the time we get to our 50s, that's when the issues start to appear? It's like the body, God has given us, for the most part, on average, what I've noticed, our body has a 50-year grace period. People can walk around on the outside and not be wide as all outdoors. They might look good, don't look like nothing is going on, like in Jamie's case. And then out of the blue, that man said he had a crazy headache he couldn't shake. Next thing you know, he was down for 20 days. He don't remember the 20 days. He was in a coma. Woke up and couldn't walk because he was stroked out. Same thing. My mama had a stroke at 53 because we don't address our bad habits. We normalize the bad stuff. We are living in a normal that's abnormal. We normalize stress. We normalize not walking. We normalize not eating well. We celebrate what kills us. Think about the star. Who else died? Big Luther, Michael Jackson, all this. Again, albeit there may have been some drugs in there, Prince. Think about all these stars that we know that we're so fond of that passed in their 50s. It should not be. When I think about my dad is 60. My uncle is 64. Kidney failure, prostate cancer. Again, all this stuff started happening in their 50s. It seems like the body has this limit. It's like, listen, tighten up, because we can't keep doing this for another 50 years. We can't do it for another 5. Is that how you want to go out? You ain't got to go out like that. I'm just saying, I'm pleading with you and I'm pleading with myself. I'm going to do my personal best because I don't want to be on this blood pressure pills. This is totally preventable. I don't want to be, I can't. When I tell you I can't do needles, when I go get blood drawn for my annual checkup, I don't even want that. How the hell I'm going to be looking over here trying to prick myself for diabetes every day? The devil is a whole lie. No, ma'am. No, Pam. Not going to do it. Again, we all going to die. But I ain't trying to die because I ain't know how to tighten up. I owe me. You know what? And if the Lord should say, I will be married again. Listen, I want my golden years into the sunset with my husband. I don't want it to be plagued with him prematurely having to care after me because I didn't care for myself. What is that? And I hope he feels the same. Listen, let's create a culture of couples who work out. You know what's admirable is one of my dear friends, my longtime friends, she has remarried, and Kara gets down. Kara came here and visited a while back, and she had me out here in these streets. She had me in the gym. She had me out there. But you know something? Her new husband, he work out too. He just turned 50 because ain't nobody got time to be sick. Her mother just turned 79. You should see Mrs. Brown. Girl, listen, out here the pickleball queen, trim and femme, out here looking good, okay? Physically active. Listen, if the Lord should say so, again, I want to be vibrant in my older years. And my 56 and my 66-year-old self is depending on the decision I make and the actions I take at 46. Who with me?